What,
Dive into it.
let's dive in. What do you want to start with today? Have you got any well, I know that my brother had some words to say about Bleach, which is the anime,
Yeah,
right? Not the
yeah. The manga has been finished for a good sort of 5 or so years,
right, okay.
but there was one special chapter that came out 2 or 3 years back and kind of teased another arc, given how the first core of the Thousand Year Blood War dropped relatively soon after and fucking took over. I'm guessing that there is enough sort of support and popularity that should the viewership remain high until the end of whatever the final core turns out to be, I think there is a distinct suspicion we could get at least one new Bleach arc, assuming Kubo has forgiven Weekly Shonen Jump for being dicks to him before. But yeah, the anime had a new episode this week, and ah, it was so good. Fucking Kurotsuchi, man. He's like Frankenstein, but for Bleach. He's a mad scientist. And just
Okay.
it's weird. Like in every arc, it's always the same 2 or 3 captains that show up and do like it's always fucking Byakuya, it's always fucking Zaraki. They always show up and they always get a fight. And I'm always bored by it. Like, okay, it's like fine, they're cool. I get it. They're fan favorites. Do they have to have a fight every arc? And I was talking to my friend the other day and realized Kuratsuchi has a fight in almost every arc as well. I mean, occasionally he's the villain, but he's always fucking there. Yet somehow it's never boring when he always shows up because he's such a mental that, like, kind of his whole, like, he's like Batman level prep god that every fight, like, with Zaraki, he's always just going to hit things till they stop moving. With Byakuya, he's just going to be fucking throwing his cherry blossoms around. With Kuratsuchi, you never fucking know what he's going to do next. Oh, is he going to summon zombies? Is he going to rain poison on everyone? Is he going to like pull off one of his limbs and turn that into a weapon somehow? Probably. Who the fuck knows? Like, he's just such a weirdo. It's always worth watching. Whenever there's a Kuratsuchi focused episode, it's always worth watching because you just never know what crazy nonsense he's going to unleash. Always good value.
Hmm.
Do love that. He's not my favorite captain, but he's definitely top 3.
So this recent episode, um, lots of deaths,
Sort of, yeah.
or they
Death
maybe
is never
are.
really final. A bunch of people got turned into zombies,
Right.
but it's worth noting the chick that did it makes a passing reference to, oh yeah, no, I turned them into zombies just before they die, so rigor mortis doesn't kick in. So technically, none of them are actually dead.
Ah, okay.
They're like on death's doorstep. But then Kurosuchi turned up and took over and turned them all into his zombies instead of hers, because that's just the kind of mental patient he is. So, I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be saved, but yeah, it's not the last you've seen for any of those characters.
Hmm.
They'll be around, even if it's just the zombies. They'll be around for the foreseeable future
The
because
foreseeable future.
zombies are awesome.
Um, I was just gonna pull up my like a cast list for Tengoku Damakyo before we start speaking about it because
Can't remember any of the
we're still
names.
quite fresh in, and I'm trying to
Yeah. All I
keep it in my
know
head.
is the chick in the kind of Akira style freaky crash place is called Tokyo. And her creepy mate. It was called Cuckoo.
Kirikou. Oh, yeah, we. So the main woman who's actually a man,
Yeah. Or
Kiriko,
is she? We'll
or
discuss
is
that later.
she? Yeah. Okay.
But it's
Good.
just, yeah, it's fucking dive in. So
Yeah.
yeah, that first episode was pretty freaky. Like that was not what I was expecting.
Um. Yeah, because obviously, like when we left off at the end of the second episode, she's like, "Oh, I'm actually a guy," and then
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, all questions. And then this third episode just starts, and it's like, "Hey, we're playing Mario Kart in the city," you're like, okay, so this is backstory of this person, and you're wondering kind of like what's happening, but they're still like, facing the man-eaters every now and then. And yeah, bad stuff. Man-eaters do be eating man.
Yeah. Their name is appropriate and well earned. That
So
was a great fucking scene though, where like he gets swallowed. She runs up like, "Don't worry, I can save you." Pulls him out. It's like, "Oh yay, she saved him." No, he's just like a head with arms now. That's fucked up.
yeah,
Kind of reminded me a while back. I was watching the Amazing Spider-Man films, the not the Tobey Maguire ones, the Andrew Garfield ones.
yes,
I was watching that with a friend of mine, and he hadn't seen them before. And it gets to the party, and I want to say the second one where Gwen falls down the clock tower, and I was just there like, and he was like, "Oh, don't worry, you're gonna save him, Spider-Man." And now obviously he grabs her just before she hits the floor, and the guy was like, "Yeah, he saved her." And I was just like, "But did he though? Did he actually? Did you see that fucking whiplash?" And it was the same there. It's like, "Oh yeah, she got there in time. She's gonna save him." And she pulls him out like, "Nah, like she saved 25% of him. The rest's fucking gone."
yeah.
So
It
great scene.
was, yeah, because you're kind of like, I'm not 100% sure how they eat or take in these humans. You're like, would it be okay if he's just pulled out? And then you're like, nope, definitely not okay. Um, and then it just flashes forward to he/she waking up, and yeah, so it's kind of like, I mean, there's a big old scar around her head, which makes you
Yeah,
think, oh, okay, so the crazy doctor person's, for some reason, like, I'm imagining the girl's like begged, like, it can't be me to die, it can't be him to die, it has to be me. And he's like, oh, I can do this thing where I can like put him in your body. And he's literally like transplanted his brain or something.
yeah.
Or did, because the man thing was still there, right? Did it attack her after, and she was on death's door as well, and she has gone just a bit mad and thinks that she is him. So it's the two possibilities of which we're not
Mm.
100% sure yet, but I'm for the brain switchy.
There's a third possible option.
Okay.
Stricken by grief, her brain just kind of broke.
Yeah.
She then got nibbled on a bit, and he's made like a Frankenstein. So you can see like like all of the stitching wasn't quite where his injuries were. Like it could be that he just like he had sort of parts of Haruki and parts of her, and just kind of like salvaged the best bits that he could of both, and kind of put them
Hmm.
together. Either
Yeah.
way, it's pretty gross.
Yeah, because in the last episode we saw is that the man eaters like absorb the people and kind of take them in, possibly. So it's like maybe he's using, because he was studying them as well. Maybe he's using
Yeah,
technology where, yeah, he can like meld people together, and it could be like, yeah. But
Frankenstein shit.
and then episode 4, I was like, oh, I hope we're gonna see more of the school place or whatever it is, prison, school, lab.
All
um,
of the above.
and we did. So we've got Frog Girl, who's like a frog for some reason. Just like climbs up the wall.
And like a big ass jump, and then just sticks to the wall and stuff. I was like, "What in the My Hero is this, man? I
Yeah, I was like, hey, it's Floppy.
superpowers." Yeah,
Um, and then they go to the lab and see the weird little
those
man-eater babies.
creepy fucking kids. Like they were just so nonplussed by these like weird single eye squid babies. It's like I would be freaking out, man.
Yeah,
That's
because,
not a normal kid.
well, they don't know. They've never seen a baby before. They're just like, oh, this is a baby. That's what it looks like. And he like goes up and has some kind of connecting moment with it. Because then I was like, wait, this kid isn't like grows up to be the kid Tokyo. Is that Tokyo? No, Tokyo is the one inside, isn't he?
Yeah,
It is the kid. But then you've got Maru outside. And Maru can do the thing where he like touches it and it dies.
yeah,
So I'm like, is he him but older? Or is there something, I don't know. It's still not
possible.
100% whether this is in the past or the
There,
same
yeah,
time.
there is definitely some kind of connection between was it Maru or whatever he's called and Tokyo.
Yeah.
Like there is something between the two of them. Whether or not like one of them grows into the other, whether or not they're brother and sister, I don't know yet, but there is definitely something. And I think the kind of the main sort of arc of this series is going to be discovering just exactly what that connection is. And if that is the case, it needs to be really good. Because if the whole thing is based around that and it's a bit disappointing, it's going to be very disappointing.
Well, I think.
But
Go on.
did you notice? Did you notice the thing?
What thing? I was about to talk about how the kid that was sick,
I
but
don't. But
you won't. You do your thing.
you know the creepy fish monster that attacked them and that they killed with weed.
Yes.
Did you notice that that was the exact thing that the guy had drawn the previous episode? The fish with all the legs.
Oh, the artist kid in the school.
Yeah, the artist kid in the weird prison crash place.
Oh, I
Last week
didn't.
drew fish with all the arms and legs, and that was the fucking
That was
man
the
eater that
thing.
attacked them this episode.
I didn't even. Yeah.
Like, yeah. Well, I know. I'm pretty sure that picture is in the fucking OP, and obviously I was paying attention because that song smacks. And I was like, wait a minute, that's the weird fish with hands design. And then I watched the episode, and the fucking handy
It's
fish
there.
got
Yeah.
smoked out. It's like, okay, so like, are they implying that he was seeing the things outside and just saw the fish monster? Or did they create the
Create it.
fish
Yeah.
monster? And in which
Mm.
case, are we gonna be seeing that creepy baby with all the fucking cables around it? Because that was kinda messed up.
The other thing that I was questioning was, so they go to this lab and they see these weird babies.
Mm.
I'm like, oh, well, these kids seem to be like super agile and like almost super powered, especially now with the frog girl being so kind of like, yeah, she's just got frog powers. What's that about? And then you got the sick kid, right? So I'm thinking, oh, are all these kids actually these man-eater being things? And now there's the man-eater babies. So I'm like, do those babies grow up to be these kids? And that's what it is. It's like a farm for these things. And they're supposed to just be like strong, really smart humans. But sometimes they go bad, which is what I'm thinking the kid in the hospital bed, that's what's
Oh,
happening. And
shit.
he's going to turn into a monstery man-eater. And then they just
Mm,
kind of throw them outside and let the rest of the world deal with them.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Discard the rejects. That's a solid fucking theory. I like that theory.
because the old lady in the wheelchair that was talking to the one that's like the central mainframe of the school or whatever it is again looks like she has like the face with some kind of, so it looks like she's an adult version of these kids slash the man eaters, but she's linked into the mainframe of the thing because she's really smart, I guess, and
Mm,
works like an AI. Because she was controlling the CCTV so that when the kids were climbing up into the vent and when the kids were hanging out of the vent in the
mm,
incubator room, the security wasn't showing on the security camera. So she was controlling it and she made the alarm go off. So she's helping the kids discover what's happening and eventually break out of the escape, I would
mm.
assume, is what she's going to help them. So it's like, even though, yeah, the adults will think that she's working for them, she's secretly trying to help the kids get out because they're going to end up like her or end up monsters or whatever. I don't know. A lot of stuff to take in this episode. A lot of unfolding.
Yeah, it was. They kind of eased us in with those first two episodes. Very much just like it's a post-apocalypse. We can survive it, or can we? Who knows? That's the drama. And then this episode's like fucking conspiracy theories, time travel, Frankenstein shit. What is going on? Very, 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 very intriguing series,
Hmm.
and not in the kind of summertime rendering. I wonder if this is dumb or not way. In the kind of actually, I really want to know what's going on here kind of way.
Hmm. Yeah. But as an overall thing, after yeah 4 episodes, enjoying it, very much enjoying it.
Yeah, I like the art style as well. It's got that kind of old school feel, very sort of late 90s, early aughts.
Hmm.
Kind of reminds me of Digimon at its best, but
Yeah.
less cartoon.
Yeah. No, I like it. Like I said before, it's like quite clean. I
Mm,
like the colors and yeah, it's just animated nicely. A lot of like the movements and things. Um,
mm.
unlike, well, I'm not very much liking the animation of which Jujutsu Kaisen, but we'll talk about that when we talk about
We
Jujutsu
will.
Kaisen, which might be next, but we'll see.
I
Trying to
mean,
think anime wise, actually, I think this week, yeah, the only other thing I've watched
yeah.
is Jujutsu Kaisen.
I've watched shitloads of Mushoku Tensei, but you haven't, so I won't say anything. All I will say is watch Mushoku Tensei because that show is fucking cracking. Nearly finished season 1, and it's like ridiculously good. Seriously,
Seriously.
ridiculously good. Yeah, Rudy is such a dirtbag. It's awesome.
You love a dirtbag character.
A redeemable dirtbag.
Oh, okay, redeemable dirtbag.
Yeah, like he's always horny all the time. But then when shit throws down, he will save the day without even considering it. Like he will just jump right into the fray to save his friends, and then try and steal their panties afterwards.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just the kind of guy he is.
I'm just gonna look to see. This was the third episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, was it?
I feel like
Was
it's
it fourth?
more than that. I think it might be the fourth.
I feel like not a lot has happened. I'm
Yeah.
just checking on Crunchyroll to see because I'm like, oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was the third.
Okay. I'm getting confused because I'm trying to remember where this part's kicked off and where the previous episode's finished.
Oh no, it must. On here, it's only showing 3. I feel like I've got the first episode that was mostly filler. Oh, and yeah, Mechamaru stuff. Then the actual like Mechamaru episode. Then we had the first one of the Shibuya, and then I thought we had another one, but it's only showing 3 on here. So.
Yeah. There was definitely 2 episodes in the Shibuya arc so far.
That's what I thought.
Like the actual. Because there was the one that finished with the one that was just mostly just people freaking out in the actual station. Like, what the hell's going on here? And then Gojo turned up like, sup, it's me. And then there was this episode.
Because that must have been at the very end of the episode where Mechamaru was as well after that fight. I don't know. Anyway,
Possible.
this last episode was kind of broken down into like Yuji with Axe Lady and Boy, who
And a very smart bug.
who is he really not like a boy? He's like a grown adult. Is that what they kind of hinted at? That people think that he's like her little brother, but actually he's not at all. I feel like there was a mention, and that's what he said. Because I was like, oh, that kind of explains some later on things that we won't talk about. But
I mean, regardless of their actual sort of
yeah,
familial connection, they're still fucking creepy.
just weird.
Like, yeah, they are just. That is a very, very strange relationship.
So Yuji's with them, and they're talking about going in, discovering the seal or breaking the seal, for the walls to come down. A lot of explaining about the barriers and yeah. Oh, if it's a barrier within a barrier, they're going to be in the middle and blah 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 blah. And then on the other side, you've got Gojo in on his own, seeing all the people. They all start getting like shoved into the station, like onto the line. Gojo completely unfazed by the curses killing humans. Because it's kind of like, they're vouching on him. What they're setting up here is they're vouching on him not to go full power because he doesn't want to kill the civilians. But he seems completely unfazed.
He just doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't give a shit. Because at the end of the day,
he will happily sacrifice 10 civilians to kill one special grade curse who could potentially kill thousands of civilians.
And also, at the end of the day, they're the ones killing the civilians, so it's not like it's on Gojo's conscience. It's like, well, no, you did that. I'm going to stop you anyway. But yeah, so you've got Choso and Jogo taking on Gojo on the train line. Both
soon
just threw some punches, but not seemingly getting anywhere. Because it's Gojo. Meanwhile, Yuji is kicking Grasshopper butt. And again, animation, I feel like it's a lot of still framey stuff. And really like they've done drawing yay big and then zoomed it in. I felt like a lot of the Grasshopper stuff, it was like, here's a line I've drawn, and then it's been like zoomed in. So it was very like, I don't know, airy looking, spacious, just not. And it's if you not like it's supposedly supposed to look like that, but literally like they've drawn it small and then gone, oh shit, I need to actually zoom this in to fill the frame. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of
A
vibe I was
little bit,
getting from
yeah.
it. And then it's like you don't see the movement of someone getting kicked through the wall. You just see like a still image of them kicking and then they're through the wall. But I'm hoping that any non-animated stuff that I'm not enjoying at the minute is going to be because they're like saved all their energy and put everything into the big fights that we're going to get this season.
Would
But
I
yeah,
be insane in thinking that that's almost exactly what they did last season?
I
I
think
seem to
so.
recall complaints about the animation last season not being up to scratch, and then when it got to the big fight, it looked fucking amazing.
My brother's literally just said the same thing as I'm saying it. So, yeah, I mean, season one, I don't remember there being anything that I was not enjoying animation wise. I mean, maybe I should go back and watch it again. But from my recollection, I had absolutely no qualms with the animation style. But I know that a lot of people didn't like it. But I thought it was like clean, nice anime. Movement's really good. And then when they did the fight, you get all the cool artwork with the curse energy and that, which I really like. But yeah, I mean, like I say, hopefully the big fight's gonna look absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
Some of this,
So a lot of people complaining on Twitter about the ghosting in the fight scene. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but it
yeah.
did look a bit low res, so I'm assuming that's what they meant.
Well, after the Mechamaru fight, I saw a lot of people talking about something called dimming, and I was like, I don't know what that is. And then in
Yeah.
this episode, I noticed one thing. I think it was when he was either on the train line or when the grasshopper got kicked through the wall, and it did. The whole episode just went like dark and then
Oh
bright
yeah,
again. So I'm
I
assuming that's
noticed
what
that as
dimming
well.
is, yeah. But I don't know why they do it or why it happens, if it's purposeful and for what reason. But it is a
If it is
bit
purposeful,
weird.
it's dumb as shit.
I just don't, there's no point, yeah, there's no reason to have it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
But regardless, it's just cool to see all this stuff animated.
Yeah,
Um,
but it did make me laugh. I saw someone was complaining about the animation in the Yuji versus Grasshopper fight, and someone had just put, "Are you really like? What else could they have done when this was their source?" And put up a picture of the actual page of him fighting the Grasshopper, and it's
scratches like
just like,
this.
yeah, it's like a kind of a Yuji shaped face here and a Grasshopper shaped face here, and then just a squiggle of lines like that. Like, we forget the animation style in JJK is, I mean, the art style
The
in the
art
actual
style.
manga is rough as fuck. Like, I don't know if this is them trying to kind of emulate the manga style or if it's just them trying to save money on animation. Either way, it doesn't appear to be really grabbing the fans in the way I imagine they'd hoped it would.
Yeah.
But hopefully, the big fights, like the serious shit coming up, will look amazing. Hopefully,
Yeah, it's tricky. I think they have to put a lot of effort into making their characters prettier because, like, they look so weird in the manga. Everyone has very, like, angled faces. Their eyes are just like a line here and a little bit of a line here. Like nothing's ever like fully together in the manga. It's all very like open edges and lots of squiggles, which looks great when you're reading it, but translating that into anime style would and having it look the same
would be
wouldn't look
rough.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um.
That's why it hasn't been announced yet, but it will be announced soon because it's amazing. I'm a little bit worried if they do announce the Sakamoto Days anime because like the art style in that is even scratchier than JJK's, but it works so well for the manga. I don't know how it would translate, and if it was all kind of clean, it would just look wrong.
Because Mappa also did like Doro Doro, and that looks different to the manga in some ways because a lot of the characters, yeah, are quite scratchy and sketchy, and there's a lot of it's just all like lines, everything's very like full on. They did a really good like job colorizing everything and making it look really good, and it's also all the characters are more like 3D, you know, like Chainsaw Man was, yeah, and they kind of melded that in. It actually came out really well. But yeah, I mean, is they're also animating Chainsaw Man at the same time. They've got like a lot on their plate.
They do, but apparently Chainsaw Man didn't really bring in the money they were expecting it to with the first season,
Mm.
so.
I mean, I haven't read it, but I enjoyed the first season, so I will watch the second season. I have some intrigue, but yeah,
Can't actually remember if I watched the first season or not.
it was all right. They just made me want to watch Jujutsu Kaisen, and I was like,
But
oh, I wish I'd put this much effort. Just put all that effort. Forget about Chainsaw Man. Just put it all into Jujutsu Kaisen.
this is the way.
This is the way. I remembered that I'm still rewatching Dragon Ball Super again. So I actually watched a few episodes of that the other day. Which was like, I didn't realise they put like all their filler episodes in together, like their funny little episodes in between the arcs. It was like funny episode, baseball episode, great episode.
There's always a
And
baseball episode.
yeah. Then like a couple little ones with like Gohan being a superhero again. And then yeah, back to the tournament now. So if I watch this tournament, I'll try and finish it whenever this announcement's going to come out in October, and hope that it's for the next season of Super. And that would line up really nicely. I know it's not going to be. It'll be some new trash video game or something. But we can
More
hope.
than likely, yeah.
Yeah, it's either
Wasn't
something really.
wasn't there a DBZ like ARPG a couple of years back? It
They
was just called
made
like
they made the last one was like the Breakers, which was like a, you know, the one like the horror game where you have to survive the night, like Dead by Daylight, or
oh, there's about 4 or 5
oh
like that, but yeah.
yeah, it was like that where you're a regular person and Stell or whoever is on the rampage and you have to survive. But it was online and you either play as the bad guy or one of the survivors. But it's like it relies on you logging on and there being people playing it as well.
Yeah.
So it's one of those games that like quickly dies because no one's playing it.
People get bored. Yeah.
Instead of just making a game that you can just enjoy it all on your own.
So, man, the whole kind of games as a service idea needs to just fuck off.
I don't mind a game. I don't know. Obviously, there's games that are really successful, like Overwatch, that is all like online battle royale, but it's just a first-person shooter and it's got like interesting stuff enough. They have like DLC a lot, so. But it's still, do you know what I mean? Like there could be a day where you log on to a game like that and just nobody else is there.
Yeah.
Like Fall Guys.
Exactly. Yeah. One day, it was the biggest game on the planet. Then next day, nope, sorry, no one's playing anymore.
No one's playing it. It's going to
Yeah.
take 10 minutes to find the 12 players that we need. Well, because it starts with like 100. It puts like 100 people in a game. It's not like Mario Kart. There's never no one to play Mario Kart. The whole world still plays Mario Kart. It's king.
Except me.
Except you. Yeah.
Suck at Mario Kart.
I actually played some Beat Saber the other day. It's just a thing. Like when you want to play, it's like, oh, I've got to get the box out. Is it charged? I need to put it on, and it can't be like I'm gonna go out after because it's gonna mess up my hair. And then it's like, do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm just gonna play this quickly before I go out because then I've got to do my hair again. Or so I really want to play it on an evening. Like I'm not going out again. I'm chill, but then I'm a bit tired. So do I really want to play Beat Saber? I need to clear space in the living room, and then sometimes I clear a big old space. And still, when I move my arm with the saber, it's like, oh, you're exiting the zone, or it like flashes up and you can see the written. I'm just like, oh my god, this is really frustrating. Just want to play the game. Yeah, but I do like Beat Saber. You really notice the difference when you've not played it for a little bit. You're
Really?
like, yeah, I just put this on hard, it's fine. And then you're like, I'm dying. Gotta get like
I would not survive in Star Wars.
gotta get like back into it. But yeah, no, I love it. It's good. Speaking of Star Wars,
I was just about to say.
I haven't watched it still, but I'm not. I don't care about spoilers. I've seen like loads of clips online,
Okay.
so feel free to talk about Ahsoka to your heart's content.
The thing is that I mean, there hasn't actually been an episode since we last sort of
Was it not on?
streamed.
Oh,
I think it's airing tomorrow.
oh, I see.
But yeah, basically the last episode was fucking amazing because it was just like all the important scenes from Clone Wars revisited, but in live action. Ahsoka fucking got wrecked by Balin. Like they tried to fight, and he just fucking this is spotted her off the thing, launched her bitch ass into the ocean.
Hmm.
She thought she was dead. She wakes up. She wakes up.
She wakes up.
She wakes up and then turns around and fucking Anakin's standing there like a Force ghost. And he kind of takes her through all the highlights of the Clone War, and you see various. You see like a half-second little flash of your boy Captain Rex, everyone's favorite clone, and kind of it's like instructional moments through the sort of education, I guess you'd call it, of Ahsoka. Yeah, it's just so many brilliant. And then they throw down because obviously they reach the part where Anakin turns into Vader, and it was just amazing. It was so freaking good. Although I maintain that if Ahsoka had been sent to Mustafar instead of Kenobi, she would have got fucking ruined. But then she wakes up and it's all a bit scary. But then they catch a ride via space whale to go and track down the guy they're looking for,
Huh.
Thrawn, and hopefully that'll be this week. And I can't wait. But I'm just quite happy because it's given me another Star Wars character I can cosplay as, because Balin is just a big hairy guy with a beard, and spray a bit of grey in my hair, I'm fine. Get some armor, a massive fucking lightsaber, because his lightsaber is huge compared to a normal one. It's like the hilt's like a good 50% longer than your average saber.
Hmm.
Pretty awesome. And it has an orange blade, because he's evil, but he's not quite a Sith.
Right.
But he did absolutely fucking ruin Ahsoka. It was savage. Brutal, man. Like, Ahsoka's badass. She's been doing this since she was like 12 or something. Oh, yeah. They also, everyone noted this. It cut back to like back when Ahsoka was a Padawan. They had a different actress playing her, the little girl that apparently was in Barbie. She also played young
Gamora.
Gamora. I can't remember the actress's name, but she's now been in 3 of the biggest films. Yeah, she's building a fucking quite an IMDb for a kid that's like 10 or something. But yeah, she was playing like Padawan Ahsoka, and everyone was very quick to notice that. Thankfully, Filoni had decided, I don't want to get arrested today, so I'm not going to have her dressed like a stripper because it's an actual 10-year-old. I'm going to put her in some proper clothes, unlike the outfit that Ahsoka wore for the majority of the Clone Wars, which was essentially a tube top and mini skirt on like a
Really?
12-year-old. Yeah, seriously. Like, when I first watched the show, I didn't really notice it because I was paying attention to other shit. But
Yeah.
when I rewatched it when it was on Disney Plus, I was like, why is Ahsoka
Why?
dressed like a stripper? Like, what is going on? Like, it's a very bizarre choice from Filoni. It's kind of felony Filoni. It was a very, very odd design. But yeah, thankfully, now in live action, he's fixed that and given us some actual clothing.
Yes.
Speaking of, the show I'll say before our manga discussion, because it involves things that happened in the manga, but I'm probably sure you know exactly what I'm going to say.
I know.
Yeah.
I know what you're referencing. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, no, other than that, I mean, the new Ahsoka is tomorrow, so I'll probably have a lot more to say next time we stream. Actually, I think depending on when that is, we may have the entire series to discuss. So it'll be a good time for you to catch up.
Yes.
But
Well,
yeah,
the reason we're streaming today, not next week, is because I am going away for a few days. I have like 2 5-hour train journeys, so plenty of time for me to binge watch a show.
yeah, that's the bright side.
And have a nap or 2. But yeah, so I can watch Ahsoka. And what else there is? I've probably finished reading One Punch Man because I haven't picked that up for a week or 2. And yeah. Do we want to talk? I was going to talk about like some things coming up. So we already knew that Attack on Titan was coming back, which was November.
I believe so.
Yeah. Spy Family is coming back October 4th. You know, you just hear like nothing of it, and then hi, season 2 is coming out on October 4th. Okay,
Apparently,
great.
there's a Spy Family game coming out, but it's only on like the DS or something. It's gonna be dumb.
I saw that. It looks
Yeah,
weird.
weird choice.
It's cool.
Yeah,
You play as Anya, and it's like Anya's happy memories or something really weird. And you just I looked at it and I was like, nah,
Yeah.
No, that's weird.
I can see what you're trying to do, but you've missed it,
You
mate.
missed it.
That's just no, that's never gonna be good.
Yeah. And then Loki's back in October as well.
Yeah.
So I'll watch that. Oh, the other thing I want to binge watch is Good Omens. So maybe I'll watch that. That'll be the other thing I'll watch probably.
I would
Like season
watch
2.
Ahsoka first.
Okay.
Yeah, because the ending of Good Omens is a bit of a not quite a cliffhanger, but once you've watched that, you're gonna want to watch season 3, and there
Uh,
is no season 3, and may never be a season 3.
why would they not make season 3?
Well, I mean, it's all caught up in the strikes. So if
Oh,
there's
I
no
see, yeah.
like, if the strikes don't break for another fucking year or whatever,
One Piece is still doing really well.
it and it was immediately picked up for a second season.
Yeah, and I've spoken to a couple of people who are not anime watchers at all who loved it
Yeah.
and are like happy to watch like a second season and that. So hopefully, yeah, there's a lot of people just watching it who are not
Mm.
anime fans, and like I said, it's just Pirates of the Caribbean, but
Yeah. We're
weird
stretching.
still.
Yeah, sadly, I couldn't. I tried to get mum to watch it, and she was having none of it.
Yeah, so I
So
haven't tried to get my mum to watch it yet. I was thinking, because I'm like, Mum, it's just like Pirates of the Caribbean. You love Pirates of the
yeah.
Caribbean. Let's watch this. And she watches some like garbage TV, so I think even the weird stuff, maybe she won't find it too weird. So we'll see. Like I say, once we've watched Only Murders in the Building, then we'll see if I can get her to watch One Piece. But
I was gonna say, if she is a Pirates of the Caribbean fan, have you watched Jungle Cruise?
yeah, she loves Dwayne Johnson as well. So
Okay. I really enjoyed that film. I thought it was so much better than I thought it was going to be.
I mean, I think she's watched it. I don't know. People, she's always scared because she doesn't like spiders. But I'm
There are
pretty
no
sure I
spiders.
told her there was no spiders in it, and she watched it.
Yeah.
It was yeah. I enjoyed Jungle Cruise. I just think it was a little bit long and like meandered
Yeah.
a bit story wise. It could have been more focused. Oh, what else did I just watch that I was annoyed because we watched Elementals on the
Oh
Disney
yeah.
Plus.
I just saw a friend raving about that. Is it good or is he just talking out his ass?
It yeah it it just did this a lot, and I could
Yeah.
never at any point predict what the goal was. Like,
Hmm.
there's a few different story points that I thought were gonna become like the big ending. Oh, this is the thing they're gonna have to resolve. But it wasn't. Oh, that's just nothing. We're just ignoring that. That doesn't matter. I thought we was gonna like that was gonna be the thing we're investigating, and that was what we're gonna go off and do. But we don't do that. And then they could have wrapped up the film at this one point, but they didn't. They carried it on for like another 20 minutes and added in these extra moments that didn't really add anything, and was just like, oh, okay.
That's a
Um,
bad idea.
and yeah, I mean, I get obviously the overall messaging, which is essentially like all to do with like immigration and like racism and stuff, because it's about people moving from one land to another. But it very much shows the like reverse of that, how the like, because her family hate the other kind of people in the land. Because even though they've moved to this new land and there's this city where everyone seemingly lives together, the fire people do not generally go into the city and are still not welcome. So it's like all the elements live together, apart from fire, because they're kind of dangerous and they can destroy things still. Um, so then the fire people like hate particularly water. So it's like, yeah. So it does good in like showing all of that, and then people trying to be like, oh well, we're actually not that different. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, there's lots of good messaging and stuff in it. I don't know if the main character lady annoyed me a little bit because I'm like, oh come on, just pull it together. You're an adult. Or I think they're adults. Yeah, they're adults. I'm like, put it together. Just but the water guy is really, really cool character. And yeah, a lot of stuff that looked really good. A lot of really cool ideas. Only a few properly funny moments.
Mm.
But yeah, it looked very pretty. It just wasn't a movie that would like grab me and that I'm like, oh, I've got to watch that again. It's not a movie I'd go back to because yeah, I don't feel like I'd gain anything more from watching it again.
Oh god. Speaking of movies that I absolutely would not go back and watch a second time.
Oh yes.
I watched Matrix Resurrections. They should have left it dead. Holy shit. That's the thing. It's not even that it's a bad film. The original trilogy are kind of bad, but they're bad in a kind of an entertaining way, so it's okay. Resurrections is just the blandest film I have ever seen. It has nothing going for it. It doesn't have the cool fighting that like the fight choreography that the original trilogy had. It doesn't have the cool CGI and bullet time that made the original trilogy what it is. Didn't even really have the kind of slightly, kind of first day in college philosophy that the original trilogy had. It had nothing. It just it had a bunch of people being like, "Hey, do you know what was great? The Matrix. Let's do that." And they're not doing it. Like Agent Smith's there, but played by someone else really, really badly.
Oh yeah,
And
it's
Neo's there. It's the guy that is
from
in a bunch of stuff.
Frozen. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And like he's doing his best, but he's just doing a bad Hugo Weaving impersonation. So like, why bother? Like, if you're
Yeah.
gonna do that, just let him be himself. And then you've got the other Agent Smith, who like half an hour in starts calling himself Morpheus for no real reason, played by that actor whose name I can never remember, but I think he was Black Manta in Aquaman,
I've not watched
and he's
Aquaman.
going to be Wonder Man if Wonder Man comes out. Solid actor, like good dude. Bad performance, bad script. Like you got Neo's there for the whole thing, but of course he's been in the Matrix, so he doesn't remember how to do all his Neo stuff anymore. So he's like you see him punch a couple of people and he blocks a lot of bullets because that was really cool when he did it the first time. Not so good when he does it the seventh time for like 4 bullets. Just dodge them. You're Neo. It's all good. Why? And then yeah, like I couldn't think of a better way to sum up how shit this film is than there's two huge red flags. One, a good 25% of this film is just clips of the original trilogy. Like they just continuously show like, remember when our films were good? Yeah, look at that. No, fuck you. And then they finish the whole film off with a really shitty cover of Wake Up. No, if you're gonna play that again, just play the original really fucking good version. Don't give us some shit wish.com version. Like everything you've done has just been trying to play on the nostalgia and the few good feelings that remain for the original trilogy, but just always missing them in like in the cheapest, worst possible way. Why did you bother making this like I understand that I want to say Lily Wachowski was not part of this film. Like maybe she was the one that had all the good ideas and Lana just like painting everything green. I don't know. But yeah, this this was not a good movie. And I'm so eternally glad that I did not pay money to see it because I would have asked for a refund.
Yeah, I think at one time we was gonna go to the cinema to see it, and I was like, oh, I'm not really bothered, or we just didn't get around to it. And then when it came out to rent, we were gonna watch it, and my brother was like, oh, let's watch Matrix. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to pay for it. And I'm not really in the mood. Just wasn't
Yeah.
feeling in the Matrix mood. And then yeah, I don't know if he or my sister or anyone's watched it, but I have not. And after hearing people like you tell me stuff like that, I'm probably never going to.
I think apparently Amazon have like struck some kind of devil's bargain with Max, and we're now getting but we've got all the DC films, all the Matrix films are now all free on Prime.
Hmm.
So be ready for lots of me talking about films that suck because I'm going to watch all of them. Next up is Black Adam, which apparently was something of a clusterfuck. So that'll be fun.
My mum watched it. She said it was good.
Did she say it was good or he was good?
I
Did
mean,
she just like it because it's lots of Dwayne Johnson?
she didn't rave about it, but she said it was good. But then my mum does like some trash movies. But her saying it was good leads me to believe that it's a perfect 6/7 out of 10 family adventure action movie.
Yeah,
Which,
I'm
if
fine with
that's what
that.
you're aiming for, then that's great.
Yeah,
Same as like, I haven't
make some
watched Shazam
popcorn.
2,
Oh god, yeah,
but that's
that's
kind
on
of
there.
what Shazam 1 was. You know, it was like a 7 out of 10 fine little adventure. But that again, I feel like it went on too long. I didn't much enjoy the ending. It's like, oh, we've all got superpowers now. I've never read the comics or anything, so I don't know. I'm assuming that's what happens, but
Yeah.
it was just yeah. I enjoy-
Apparently, the only thing that's good about the second Shazam film is they changed the actor for Mary Marvel, and the new one is an absolute smoke show. Everyone I know who's seen Shazam, the sequel, that I can't remember the name of, has just said, "Yeah, the film's terrible, but goddamn, Mary Marvel is fine as fuck." So, I mean, if that interests you, feel free, but I think I'll skip that one.
Is it the whole idea that there'll be a future movie that's got like Shazam and Black Adam in? Is that the
Apparently
premise?
not. 'Cause
Oh,
the thing is, being they're like fucking arch nemesis, but
okay.
apparently, your mum's future boyfriend, Dwayne, was like, "No, I want to be against Superman. I ain't like, I'm not fighting Shazam. He's a dick. I want to go. I want to be like the next. I want to be like a Thanos level threat. I want to be fighting Superman, not Shazam." And then his film was awful, so the sequel got cancelled, and so now he's not going to fight anyone except on the unemployment line.
Mm. What other movies have I seen? I think that was it. We sat down and was like, oh, what's your. Oh, Dwayne Johnson refuses to be a villain, which is what ruined.
Hmm.
He said Shazam, but you mean Black Adam, right? Yeah, I feel like he
I
said
think
it's.
the chance of him going against Shazam is dead because
I
Dwayne Johnson, like
see. He doesn't want to be a
Dwayne,
villain.
he knows that if in a Black Adam versus Shazam film, people are going to want to root for Shazam, whereas he wants them to root for Black Adam, and he knows that'll never
Yeah.
happen. He doesn't want him to be a villain, even though he's a fucking villain. It's giving me a headache thinking about that. What a moron.
I always like people that can play the heroes and the villains.
Yeah.
I think it is though. It's just Dwayne Johnson's thing, isn't it? Like on social media and stuff. Like he never posts political anything about his views, personal opinions or views or anything. He doesn't post anything. He is
Mm,
like the golden boy of social media. He literally just posts
yeah.
like stuff about his family and like I don't know.
I mean, he's got an image and
Yeah,
he
that's his
wants to
image.
kind of
Yeah.
protect it. Fair play. That's how you play the game. Dude came up through WWE. He knows about maintaining an image and kind of setting a character. Fair enough. But then don't play Black Adam if you don't want to play him as a villain. He's a
Mm,
villain. You can play him as a relatable villain, as a I forgot.
redeemable kind of.
Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, go the Loki route. I
Mm.
mean, even go the fucking Thanos route because let's be fair here. We all, Thanos was the villain. We all are very aware he was the villain, but he was kind of badass. We all liked him. He wasn't entirely wrong. Like that's a good role to play. That's a fun, that's a meaty role. Play that role.
He's like, no.
I want to be a good guy and do this a lot and elbow drop people. A contract.
That's what it says. I don't know if there's any movies coming out that I want to see.
Hmm.
Other than obviously The Boy and the Heron.
Oh yeah, Natch.
Oh, and now there's
I,
no stuff saying that it's not his last movie and that he's not retiring. Which of
of
course
course,
is like whenever he says he's retiring, don't
this is like the fifth time he said he's retiring. It's never going to happen. He needs to just admit that he's going to be in the studio until he collapses at his table, and then will
literally.
be buried at his studio.
It's just what he loves.
Yeah.
Like when we watched like the little documentary when he was making well his son was making from Up on Poppy Hill when he ended up coming in and helping. He just can't not. Just can't not. He just loves it. Potting around the studio, checking on people's artwork, and then ends up working like full time and doing it himself.
I mean, the dude's just got a fucking gift for it. Why
Yeah.
deny the world your majesty? Just do it.
Mm.
You love it. We love you doing it. Celebrate it. Lean in. You're really fucking good at it.
And also, it seemed like I don't know the relationship between him and his son is very strange. I don't know if it's a thing, just like to not be like, "Hey, I love you," or be openly supportive of family members and things.
I mean, his son's kind of a bit shit, so
No, I like it. I because yeah, From Up Over Here was his, and but I feel
Tales
like
of Earthsea was his.
yeah, I mean that was his first one, and the source
Yeah,
material
true.
is so weird that like
Yeah,
because
it
the movie
is.
was all right, it was just the source material was just weird, so it's hard to just get hold of it. Um, but I feel like maybe him working with him is a way to spend a lot of time with him without admitting that you want to spend a lot of time with someone. Like that's the best way for him to spend
Mm.
lots of time with his son.
Well, speaking of things that are coming out soon and are adaptions of quite strange works, apparently the push for the new Percy Jackson TV series is starting.
I mean, I've seen trailers for it.
Yeah, my fucking Facebook feed has been flooded with articles about
I do have
freaking
to
Percy
say,
Jackson.
the first trailer I watched doesn't look amazing. I like the films that came out. They're,
I didn't.
again, 6 to 7 out of 10 fun family adventures that you
Yeah.
watch.
I mean, it's a young adult book series. Yeah, it's all kind of Harry Potter spawn about Greek heroes. It's never going to be sort of 8 out of 10 cinema. It was always going to be kind of on the better side of mediocre.
Mm.
So I'm fine if they really embrace that and just make something that isn't trying to be sort of deep and is just kind of entertaining. It could be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably watch it. I feel like it's something that my mum will probably enjoy, so probably end up watching it. Did you catch a fly?
I did. Kind of feels like they need to cast like a not a big name, but if there's someone that can be like, "Oh, I know that person. They're good," then that will kind of rope me in because obviously the three main kids are three kids, so who gives a shit? And like I want to say that they cast like the Zeus or someone, and I didn't know who it was. So I was like, I'm shallow. I need at least one person that I recognize in the show so I can watch it, and I don't yet.
Yeah, I haven't looked closely at the cast, but I didn't see anybody in the trailer that I recognised. Um,
Mm.
Yeah, not to say that if there isn't a character, like when I watched the first season of Lock and Key and thought this is really good. Don't know who any of these people are, even the adults, apart from the one who is like Iceman Bobby from X Men's brother, who looks almost like him but just scarily not quite like him. And then you're like, is that him or is it him or him? And then you're like, oh, it's the brother. Okay, great.
The Ashmores.
Oh, okay, I was like, I have no idea what their names are, but um, yeah. But then the show turned to trash anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I watched the first season and wrote some fairly scathing reviews for it on pop culture and comics. And it got to the end of the series. Oh, there's a second season coming. And I was like, great. Have someone else review it. I want nothing more to do with that show and have not looked back. Even though the villain lady, I want to say her name was like Echo or something.
Yeah, I feel like they called her Dodge, and then she had a
Yes.
different name as well, like an actual name, because she was
Whoever the
Echo,
hell,
yeah, but then she
yeah, whoever
became
she was,
Dodge, I think.
yeah, she was fine. And like, not hot enough to make me watch the show for it, but hot enough that as I was watching the shows and they were terrible, I was like, well, at least her scenes are good. But yeah, everything else about the show was awful.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the premise of it, and it was like
Mm.
interesting, but then the kids just kept doing such stupid shit, and I'm just like, for me, if you're in the current times and you got smartphones, there's just a lot of problems you shouldn't be having. Just communicate
Yeah.
with each other. Again, this is why I
Yeah.
say Stranger Things works because it's like pre them having cell phones, and it's just harder for them to communicate with each other when they're apart and they're separated into groups, which is why the show always separates them all into groups and makes them do their own little side things and none of them know what the other person is doing, because if they all had mobile phones it wouldn't happen. Things would have been resolved much quicker, which is the real reason they said it in the 80s, not just because the 80s is cool. But yeah, that'll be coming back at some point, I guess next year
Will it?
now. Yeah, they're doing like the final season.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember
It was like
kind of
last whatever it
it
came out.
it was finished before the strikes went down. It's probably in post production now,
It's
isn't
got to be
it?
filmed, yeah. It was. I imagine they filmed it pretty much straight away after the last one kind of aired.
For sure.
Um, so I'd
But
imagine
I'm
it's
just
wrapped and
wondering
done.
if kind of because it didn't the VFX artists all go on strike as well. So I'm wondering if they actually managed to get the show done before it got
Probably
done.
not, but hopefully Netflix and other people will strike some
Yeah,
deals
true.
soon because they're
I mean,
idiots.
that's the thing. Like we know
The
that.
companies, not the
Uh,
people.
yeah, well, we know that it is possible to make kind of exceptions. Like A24 are allowed to go ahead because they just agreed to all the demands. Like maybe, like if maybe if Oda is like, yeah, you know what, I'll do one. Like people that work on One Piece, you will all get what SAG wants you to get. And like people that work like VFX artists for Stranger Things, we will give you all the money. Just get the fucking show done.
I don't think they can do that though because the actors have like an overarching contract slash like thing with their agents and with the unions, and they
But
have
if
to
the
be
unions
getting
agree,
that from every job they're going to go to.
hmm.
But no, but you're right because yeah, other companies are going ahead.
Hmm.
I think it just has to be actors that aren't already like in long-term contracts with things that are tied to those
Yeah,
companies, I guess.
possibility.
I don't fully understand it, to be fair.
Me either.
I'm just a low little extra. We don't have anyone that looks out for us. We just go where they tell us, and then
We get sandwiches.
we get sandwiches. But yeah, uh, cool.
Really craving a meatball sub, but the only place to get them is Subway, and their meat tastes like foot. So
Yeah, I had a Subway in America once, just like a ham and cheese one. It was really good, and then I came back to the UK and had a ham and cheese Subway and was like, ugh.
yeah, it's because it's all a franchise. So any dickhead can just send in their sort of check and open up their own shop, and so
Uh,
quality control is non-existent. My brother worked in a Subway for a while, so I know what an absolute shit show it is.
yeah, I haven't.
Not that he kind of leaked any secrets to me. I'm just saying that they employed him, so it must be a fucking disaster.
I feel like I don't know. Job interviews now are a lot different.
Hmm.
I feel like when I was first interviewing for jobs, it doesn't matter what job you're going for, you just go in a suit and you look smart. And now it's
Yeah,
like no one cares. You just go dressed however you like, and
I think a lot of it depends on the industry.
yeah.
Like anything in the sort of the creative industry, like writers, extras, all that jazz. They want you to show up, kind of looping back to our Dwayne the Rock Johnson story. They want you to kind of show your character from the
Mm.
moment you walk through the door. Are you a suit dude? Great, rock your suit. Like, are you a hoodie person? Are you a 50s retro dress person? Show that. So it's like, but if you're going for like the financial industry, you better wear a suit and it better be a fucking fancy one.
My friend works in London, like a fancy job. Well, not like super fancy, but a big time London job. And he's just
Yeah.
got his 3 suits that he wears on repeat or whatever with different shirts or ties. But he says, yeah, something like you get on the train and you see people and you think they must be spending like their entire wage packets on fancy suits to wear to job for which they earn the money for. And you're just like, it's crazy. Or like watches and things like that because they have to like have this persona and fit in with everybody else they're working with. I mean, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like if you're slugging your guts out going to London every day to work, yeah,
Fuck that noise.
I won't keep all that money.
Remote work. Yeah. Remote work for the win.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think most London people are kind of like working from home now. Or if they do go to the office, it's kind of casual. Where we want, like pretty much everyone I meet anyway is like, yeah, you can wear what you want, or at least wear like trainers and stuff with your suit, kind of like semi-cash.
I always thought that was a good look. Like the kind of the David Tennant suit and
Hmm.
Converse. It's a combo.
You can get so many nice shoes that look just as smart as horrible regular shoes, like business shoes. I love shoes, basically.
I don't. I have one pair of boots and that's it.
One pair of boots, like a
Yeah.
trainer.
Nope. I have some Carrymore, I think they're North Face hiking boots,
Okay,
and that's it.
North Face is pretty fancy.
Yeah. They were like 250 quid or something, but
Do you
That
ever
should last me
wear?
a while.
Do you ever wear shorts?
Yes. Well, only in Greece.
Oh, I was gonna say. So when you go to Greece, right, you're not wearing your boots.
No,
No, you
I
got
have
some
some
flip
10
flops.
quid M&S sandals. Yeah,
Because
they're good.
shorts and your big walking boots. I mean, you can wear walking boots with like shorts
A little
anyway.
bit Kevin Smith, shorts and boots. It's not good. It's not a look. Unless they're Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith, like in life, just wears like giant shorts and slip-on bands.
Shorts. Yeah.
That's his look. And big blazers. He'll wear like a regular shirt and then he wears like a massive oversized blazer with his big old jean shorts, yeah. And then like a backwards cap.
Always the backwards cap.
But he's like lost so much weight and he's super healthy since he had a heart attack
Nearly
like
died.
3 years ago or
Yeah.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
And he doesn't smoke weed anymore. He's given that up as well.
Yeah. Well, apparently, he didn't really smoke that much weed anyway.
I don't think he was like a massive,
Yeah.
like Seth Rogen, I feel
He-
like smokes it all day,
yeah.
every day. I think Kevin Smith like smoked it, but probably not as much or not
Yeah.
as strong, maybe.
The weird thing is, apparently, he wasn't smoking when he made like all those like not. He wasn't
Weird
during Clerks,
films.
Mallrats, all
Jay and
those like
Silent Bob.
real stoner comedies. He wasn't smoking that whole time. He just knows how to write to make stoners laugh.
Hmm.
Strange.
Strange. Good strange.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Except I really didn't like Clerks 3. It was sad.
I haven't watched it actually. That's on my
It
on my list.
really sad. Seriously, like it's a depressing fucking film.
It's so sad.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's good to just watch a nice little depressing film.
but not when you're expecting a comedy.
No. Right. Should we talk manga?
Yes.
Have you read anything other than My Hero Academia?
Lots. Yeah.
Any?
One.
Yeah, go on.
Well, they've Shonen Jump were really pushing this new series whose name I've instantly forgotten. But if you have the Shonen Jump app, you will know because they've been fucking pushing it
Yeah.
hard. And it sounded super generic. Guy, here's the son of a swordsmith, and his dad dies, so he tries to get revenge on the Yakuza who killed his dad. And I was like, wow, that's so different to everything that's out now. But the art style looked quite good, so I gave it a try. And it was a pretty fucking strong first chapter.
Is
Like,
it?
there's a bit of magic in there. It's not just like he was a swordsmith, but he was a swordsmith who folds magic into his blades. And it turns out it wasn't actually the accuser that killed his dad. It was the evil sorcerers who were the group that's supplying the money to the Yakuza.
Hmm.
So there's like there was goldfish involved. It sounds weird, but trust me, it was very well done. They were good goldfish. So yeah, it's very bizarre,
Is
but I
this
like.
Kagurabachi? Wait,
Yes,
Kagurabachi.
that sounds right. Yeah,
Yeah, it's come up on my like. It
yeah,
is literally the top banner on Shonen
yeah.
Jump here.
Like it's their big push for the week.
Is that a long chapter? Like it's going to be long chapters every month,
Uh,
or they just started with a big one?
Yeah, they always start with the big one. The first chapter is always like double, triple length, and
Mm.
then it goes into weekly normal ones, unless you are Goku Rakonga or whatever it's called, that weirdly sort of shonen slash BDSM series that continues to be monthly, but sort of not. It's like every 3 to 6 weekly. It
Mm.
seems to just drop whenever it feels like it, but the chapters are always kind of meaty and they're always pretty good. So I bear with it. And then weirdly, I was reading Do Retry, which was about this young kid during kind of the end of or just after World War II in Japan, who's become a boxer to get the money to save his sister.
Mm.
And then last week, it suddenly jumps like 50 years into the future, and they're all grown ups now, and it's about his grandkid who wants to make shoes.
Random.
Because apparently now shoes are the new boxing. Yeah, I'm as fucking lost as you are. Like, I was reading a surprise, sort of fairly interesting boxing series, and now it's shoeboxes.
Hmm.
What the fuck?
I mean, box.
Yeah. The one possible kind of the interesting arc they could take is so initially it was about a guy who's like, I've got a dream, I'm going to be a boxer, and then it's about like it ends with him becoming a boxer. He finds his dad, learns how to box. Awesome. And now it's kind of jumped ahead, and it's about his grandson who wants to be a shoemaker, even though he apparently is a bit shit at making shoes. But he's going to work at it and become a shoemaker. And then if it kind of becomes like a generational story, instead of being just 200 chapters all about learning to punch good, if it's like 20 chapters on punching good, 20 chapters on getting your soul on and making good shoes. And then it's his grandkid who wants to be a dancer. And then their grandkid that wants to be an astronaut. And it's just like generations of the same family all kind of continuing the sort of the family tradition of just not giving up. And it's just these little vignettes about the power of perseverance.
Hmm.
That could be quite a good shtick. But I mean, this just screams cancelled in 50 chapters or less. Like, if it makes it to 20, I will be quite surprised.
Hmm.
Actually, I think it's already at 20, so if it makes it to 50, I'll be surprised.
Is it? I mean, I guess it's pretty. Obviously, if you enjoy it, but even if you're not like super enjoying it, when you put effort into like reading it and then it gets scrapped pretty early as well, it's kind of like,
Yeah. Frickin' Tenmaku Cinema. If you're watching us and you're not reading Tenmaku Cinema, it's your fault it got cancelled. Great fucking series. So, it's from the guys that did Food Wars, Yuto and Shun, about a kid that's just obsessed with movies. So he wants to make his own movie. And one of the girls in his class is like a Hollywood actress. And he gets her to make his film. And then they make the film and they release it and it does quite well. And then the
hmm.
show got cancelled. Sucks.
Oh.
It's because there's no titties in it. Everyone was like, oh, it's from the Food Wars guys. There's going to be titties in there. No, there's not. They're school kids. No titties. Cancelled.
That leads us into My Hero Academia.
Perfect segue. Excellent job.
So our last chapter we had
Death by Sparkle.
big finishing moves, yeah. Sparkly guy, fighting plant dude, me being worried that Fat Gum's gonna die, and then linked parallel to All Might fighting All for One, launching his big light move of Ayama. So yeah. So this we straight away come in and we have a Hagakure, invisible girl. She's not invisible. And she is very naked. There's just some puffs of cloud or debris around her to cover the vital points, but definitely could have been more cloud. More cloud would be good. Literally just like, you're just like unnecessary nakedness. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess a lot of their like fans are kids and I mean that's just
They'll know.
teenagers and stuff, I don't know. They're aiming at people, but unnecessary. Anyway, it's really just that opening page. After that, I think it's okay.
But I mean, this is not the first time Hirokoshi has been in hot water for his designs. Like, this is the same guy who kept making Momo's uniform smaller and smaller with every chapter, and the editors had to keep reminding him to put more fucking clothes on her. So I think that's just, clearly he trained under the guy from Rurouni Kenshin. So
It was the random coloured cover page of Invisible Girl that got me for no reason. There was nothing in the story of her at the time, and all of a sudden, nothing imperative, and then it's like, oh, here's just like a naked cover, like of her for no reason. Like, anyway, so we have that. She's like, don't look at me. Like, soz. um, yeah, and he's thinking that she can use her light or like refract his light in a way to control it because he can't control it himself to burn the plants out of people. So Fat Gum's going to be fine.
Yeah. He's a tank. He'll be fine.
That's the good news. Then we're going to jump back to All Might. So All Might's launching his big light thing. The machine shooting the laser is making weird noises, like it's not going to hold out for very long. And then, yeah, he has some other moves.
He did.
Zane is taking cues from Star's last stand, which A means he's definitely going to die. And, and B that, yeah, he's just freaking crazy. He uses sound vibrations, so ear jacks, tentacle, he uses everything. Yeah, Invisible Girl, Towel
He throws
Man.
sticky balls. Grape
And then,
juice.
yeah, I was like,
Woo.
bringing out those sticky balls. He's like, as soon as he's like, oh, I need to make sure that you're not going to go anywhere. You know, if this laser doesn't hold you, these are gonna. So he shoots his sticky balls.
Keep that motherfucker locked down.
And then it shows people in another country watching the fight. They have no idea who these people are, but
What it is, I think it's just because you know how at the start they were saying they were broadcasting kind of All Might's last stand to the world, and it's just showing that like all these random people who have never heard of All Might are like, hey, that dude's fighting for us, kind of badass. So it was a nice little scene. I kind of liked it. They were like, who is this random guy? He's not our hero, and the kids are like, he's my hero.
yeah.
Oh,
Because the old lady's like, oh, I don't know who they are, and it's in a land far away, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
this is going to impact the world, whatever happens here. But the little boy is like, got the hope for All Might.
Yeah.
You know, similar to like when he's fighting All for One in season 2 or whatever it is, and they're all cheering him on in the
United
square,
States
and he can hear the cheers, and it just like spurs him on. Reminds me of, you know, like in Elf.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like about the Christmas spirit and stuff.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen that film.
Grinch, you need like the Christmas spirit to like power whatever it is, the sleigh or whatever. It's like that. It's exactly like that. Yeah, he's like a young boy now. He's getting a weird arm. His arm's going all like weird.
I think his body's just like starting to break down now. He's aged back so far that his power can't really be contained, and he's going full Tetsuo.
Yeah. And then he says that he can't move, and I'm like, he can't move.
Oh.
And then we get who I can only describe as Stain Goblin on his little glider.
Yeah.
Is Stain with his big old freaky tongue.
Motherfucking hero killer Stain. Was not expecting that. That's a deep cut. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
It's good shit.
It's yeah, because since he had his last little encounter with All Might, and then
maybe he's starting to realize that all the heroes aren't that bad. There are actually some that are worth fighting beside.
I think, yeah, because he's seen that All Might is that person.
Yeah.
But All Might's like made him see that, you know, at least Deku is going to follow in those footsteps. And spur the other heroes on to be just as good. Yeah. But so yeah, here comes Stain to save the day. Who would have thought?
Yeah. They're gonna have a who's got the biggest, creepiest grin competition between All Might and Stain.
Literally, yeah. Because I wasn't sure if they was heading in a direction of like, oh, it's not actually All Might in the suit. It's been Stain this whole time. That's what I thought they was about to reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when it said about the grin, and who's actually, and I was like, oh, is that actually Stain in the suit this whole time, and he's been messing with him, like? But no,
that would have been a pretty.
Yeah. But
I think that's one of those twists that wouldn't have worked in the anime because it will be obvious that that's Stain's voice coming out of the mech. So I don't think they would pull that. But yeah, when it just first cut to the big grin and kind of the creepy ass tongue, I was like, wait, has Stain been in there the whole time? But no, he was just in his little goblin glider being a troll.
As we do that, I'm going to segue into Vigilantes, as we're going to be getting the anime at some point. Similar thing with Six, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
in the manga they like hide his face a lot, but it's really easy. They're just like, oh, there's a big shadow here, or like you can really tell, but you don't mind because it's in the manga and they're just covering it up. You're like, well, they're just covering up. It's fine. It's going to be a little bit more difficult in the anime, I think, to not be
Mm.
like, oh, that's that dude. I don't think that carries
What?
on for too long, so I don't think it's
No.
like that big of an issue. But
They could either have have like one person voicing six and one person voicing
and
the
that,
other
yeah.
person, or you could just have one voice actor and have them just do super different voices for the two of them.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's going to be a little tricky. I won't be surprised if that whole thing is like one episode. Like, we all know we can see it coming. Just
Yeah.
fucking just get out of the way.
But I think after watching like the final season or whatever of My Hero Academia, if we're gonna lose All Might, possibly we've not gone back to it yet, but the fights with like Aizawa and President Mike and their old buddy. If Aizawa dies, then I feel like people watching Vigilantes, it's going to be like even like harder hitting because you're getting all the
Mm.
backstory of Aizawa and you're getting to see like All Might.
Mount
Yeah,
Lady of Midnight.
midnight. Yeah, it'll be like really sad and hard hitting, but yeah, I'm still very excited to watch that.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be watching that fucking day one.
That'd be good to because the manga's so good. So the anime, I can't see how they would mess up the anime, but
No,
I mean they.
and it like just based on the hype of it being a My Hero spin-off, that should get it 2 or 3 seasons just
Mm.
based on that. And then if you get through kind of to call it 2 seasons, like just the hype of the actual show being really fucking good and Koichi being an absolute boss will be enough to carry it through to the end.
Mm. I think the thing that it will do is it'll be like, oh, this is great because it's the My Hero Academia world. And I think that a lot of people don't like My Hero because it's like, oh, it's just kids in school and a lot of the filler they're not interested in because it's just some kids like mucking around or whatever. Whereas Vigilantes is that same world with a lot of the same characters, like the adult heroes, but with an adult main character. So you're like, oh yeah, I'm more for this guy. He's like out of college or out of school, whatever, needs a job. He's, living on his own, just trying to like make his way in the world. And yeah, it's just very, I don't know, more relatable for adult viewers.
Very much so, yeah. Less kind of weird school drama and more, oh, I won't get a job, that sucks drama, which a lot of people will relate to.
Mm. But yeah, that's me. I'm just waiting for some more figurines to come out. Um,
Of course you are.
there's some out already that are like from Jujutsu Kaisen, like season 2, part 1, which is what I want. Like Gojo and Geto, just like before Geto goes bad. And then trying to look, but it's not showing me. There were some. There's one like really crazy one from like the Zero movie. It's a lot of money. It's a lot
God.
of money. I've got my little one, but yeah, I feel like the ones they've released so far have not been very good. So I'm waiting for them to release some of the other ones. And then
They'll do them right at the end just to make everyone wait. They'll release a bunch of kind of mediocre ones that just get steadily better and better to trick people into buying the upgrades each time. Then right at the end, release the one that everyone wants, and then they'll get that as well. Like so they know if they release the good ones straight away, no one's going to buy any of the others.
yeah, that's true. And then I'll be waiting for some Choso figurines. They've got like a Nendoroid out already, I think, but
That doesn't count.
nothing else. I mean, it's super cute. I'll probably get it.
It's Choso. He's your Achilles heel, your kryptonite.
Here's my kryptonite.
Chosenite.
Um, I got one figurine at the minute. Oh, it's Sega though, and my Gojo's Sega, and it's awful. Looks
Is
like
that the Hitmon
rabbit.
Gojo. Yeah.
Yeah, it's no good.
Terrible, terrible
Oh,
figure.
these are my new ones. It's a combination one, so it's Sukuna fighting Megumi. They like their bases like lock in together. So he's like kicking, and it's Sukuna, and he's just doing like his cool like lean back. He's going to kick him, and he just leans like from what like the first episode, end of the first episode or the second episode when he first like takes over. Yuji, but yeah, it's a good little figure. They're quite small, but they're very very good. Um, yeah, so we're not going to be here next week.
No.
And following our regular scheduling pattern, we won't be the week after.
No.
So we'll be back on the 10th.
Yes. And by that point, we'll have shitloads to talk about because I will probably be all caught up with Mushoku Tensei. And Ahsoka will probably be finished because I think it's only 6 episodes.
Yep. And we'll have 3 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes.
Two.
And Urichu.
And we'll
There's some
have
fucked up shit coming up, so that'll be a lot of fun to talk about.
and we'll have more chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero.
Oh yes.
And
We'll have about 3 more chapters of Jujutsu and maybe one of My Hero.
oh, and Spy Family episode 1 would have been on.
Hey, nice.
That's literally the start of October, yeah.
Excellent.
Excellent. I'm sure that would be a fun little kind of we're back episode.
Yeah, it'll be not quite filler, but pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, and then from then, actually, our schedule works out pretty well because we'll be off for Halloween, which is perfect. And then
Not
we'll
that I ever do
be
anything.
our last stream would be like 19th of December, which breaks us
Works for
perfectly
me.
over Christmas.
Excellent.
Excellent. Yeah.
Kind of worrying that it's like 3 streams till Christmas. Fuck you.
Whoops. Yeah, Christmas has come around. It's like, oh, it'll be Black Friday next, and then Retail World here. So Black Friday, and then it's Christmas time, basically, straight away. I feel like everything in our store is always on sale in some way or another. So not necessarily like just a different sale. You have to just put the sale things, little tickets on. It's fine. But yes. So I'm annoyed because they had like Vans have done a One Piece collection already, like a year or so ago. And now they've done the live action. I feel like they really missed out. I feel like they'd held on, they would have done like way better launching it.
You think?
I don't know, because they could have done well, they should it was a terrible collection anyway.
There we go.
Like I say, oh, HMV literally has t-shirts. I went in and the whole little anime table that they have was like all One Piece figures. Like, and they never had One Piece figures in there before. All One Piece figures, and there's t-shirts with like the live action characters on. Yeah, they don't look great, but
No.
it's like they're really, really pushing it. It's happening.
Was there any decent Shank figures?
Yes, they had a couple from like the Red film. They're actually really nice figures, and then a couple others, I think. Yeah, loads of figures. And yeah, still got their big Gear 5 cardboard cut out in the window. Standy.
Spoily.
Yeah, I know. I still can't believe they put that out like a week or whatever before the episode. Crazy.
Fuck them. Anime onlys, we live in fear. You need that freaking observation hacky to dodge all the spoilers.
I keep getting annoyed when it's like Thursday and there's new chapter spoilers of things. And I'm like, no! Like, I can wait 3 days.
Yeah, that's how we'll do that.
But, yeah, it's mostly Jujutsu Kaisen. Everyone's just like flooding the internet. So I want to be part of groups so that I can talk about things, but I also don't want people ruining stuff.
Yeah. Especially as we're kind of coming to the crux of a fairly large arc here. You know the spoilers are going to be fucking rampant. Which is not worth it.
I like to just read it and enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. So we'll see everybody in that's like
6
3 weeks. 6 weeks. We'll see you at Christmas now. 3
Yeah.
weeks, and we'll be back. So yeah, this is just like a little additional one because I'm
Yeah.
a terrible person and I'm going away next week. Boo me. That's what Tig's like. Laura, come on.
Nah. I can't be holding touch against you considering I just put our D&D game on like a month's break because I couldn't be asked.
No. It's right, we're back. It was good.
Yeah, it was a fun one.
Good. Right. Anyway, thanks to everyone and
See you in 3.
bye.